The security camera footage doesn't lie, but my wife sure as hell does. It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm sitting in my cluttered home office, surrounded by monitors displaying feeds from various client locations. Being a private security consultant means keeping odd hours, but tonight feels different. Tonight feels like the end of something. My phone buzzes. A text from Lora. "Don't stay up, working late at the firm, love you." I almost laugh. Almost. Because 20 minutes ago, I watched her silver Honda pull into the Franklin Motel parking lot on camera feed number 7. That's the one I installed for Mrs. Chen's pawn shop across the street. Funny how life works. I put that camera there to catch thieves, and instead I caught my wife. Working late, I mutter to myself, taking a swig of cold coffee. Nothing says overtime like hourly rates at a no-tell motel. My name is Jake Morrison, and I've been married to Lora for 12 years. She's a rising star at Blackstone and Associates, one of those glass tower law firms downtown where everyone wears suits that cost more than my truck payment. Me? I'm the guy who installs their security systems, fixes their cameras when they break, and apparently gets cheated on by their junior partners. I rewind the footage. There she is again, stepping out of her car in that red dress I bought her for our anniversary. The same dress she wore to dinner last week, when she told me how much she loved me, how lucky she felt to have found someone who understood her ambitions. The motel door opens. A man steps out. Tall, silver-haired, expensive suit even at midnight. I know that face. Sterling Blackstone Jr., son of the firm's founder, heir apparent to the whole operation. Lora's boss. Lora's married boss with 3 kids and a wife who plays tennis at the country club. Well, shit, I say to the empty room. I grab my jacket and keys. The Franklin Motel is a 15-minute drive through the industrial district, past shuttered factories and strip clubs with burned-out neon signs. This part of town smells like motor oil and broken dreams, which feels about right for my current situation. I park across the street, engine running, and wait. The rain starts around midnight, fat drops that turn the motel's flickering sign into a watercolor nightmare. Room 237. I memorize the number, take pictures with my phone, document everything. Old habits from my army days. Intelligence gathering never goes out of style. At 12:43 a.m., Sterling emerges first. He looks around nervously, adjusts his tie, walks to a black BMW parked 3 spaces down. Rich bastard even cheats in style. Lora comes out 5 minutes later. Her hair is different, messier. She's carrying her heels. She gets in her car without looking back and drives away into the rain. I follow her home, staying 3 cars back. She beats me there by 10 minutes, just enough time to fix her hair and pretend she's been working on case files. When I walk through the front door, she's sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open, still wearing that red dress. "Hey, honey," she says without looking up. "How was your night?" "Enlightening," I reply. She glances at me then, and for just a second, I see something flicker in her eyes. Guilt? Fear? Or maybe just annoyance that I'm interrupting her performance. "I'm exhausted," she says, closing the laptop. "Sterling had us working on the Henderson merger until almost 1. You know how he gets when there's money involved?" "Oh, I'm starting to figure out exactly how Sterling gets." She frowns. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Just making conversation." I watch her gather her things, this woman I've shared a bed with for over a decade. She moves differently now, like she's performing for an audience. Every gesture calculated, every word rehearsed. "I'm going to shower and head to bed," she says. "Don't stay up too late with your cameras." She kisses my cheek, a dry, obligatory peck, and heads upstairs. I hear the water running, and I know she's washing off the scent of another man. The thought makes my stomach turn, and my hands clench into fists. I wait until I hear the bedroom door close, then I search her purse. Lora's always been careless with her things, leaving them scattered around like breadcrumbs. Tonight, those breadcrumbs lead straight to hell. The burner phone is tucked behind her credit cards. a cheap flip phone that doesn't match her usual taste for expensive gadgets. I power it on and scroll through the messages. There aren't many, but they're enough. Can't wait to taste you again. So we are next Tuesday, same place. Wear the black one this time. Tell your husband you're working late. I have plans for you. S. And Lora's responses, each one a knife in my chest. You make me feel alive in ways he never could. I think about your hands all day. I wish I could stay with you all night. The last message is from tonight. That was incredible. I'm still shaking. I set the phone down carefully, fighting the urge to throw it against the wall. Instead, I take pictures of every message, every timestamp, every piece of evidence. Then I put the phone back exactly where I found it. Upstairs, Lora is already asleep, or pretending to be. She's curled up on her side, facing away from me, claiming her half of our king-size bed like it's enemy territory. I lie down next to her, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathe. 12 years of marriage. 12 years of believing in something that was apparently just an elaborate lie. I think about all the late nights, all the weekend emergencies at the firm, all the times she came home smelling like expensive cologne and claiming she'd been out with her co-worker Jenna. Jenna. Lora's best friend and fellow attorney at Blackstone and Associates. I wonder what she knows about this. I wonder who else knows. I wonder how long I've been the fool in this story. My phone buzzes. A text from Rick, my best friend and owner of the MMA gym where I train, saw Lora's Instagram story. She's at some fancy restaurant downtown. Thought you might want to know. I check Lora's Instagram. Sure enough, there's a story from 3 hours ago. A picture of a wine glass and expensive-looking pasta tagged at Romano's, an upscale place near the financial district. The caption reads, "Working dinner with the team. I blessed lawyer life." Working dinner. Right. I screenshot everything and add it to my growing collection of evidence. Then I text Rick back. Thanks for the heads up. We need to talk tomorrow. Everything okay? Not even close. I set my phone aside and close my eyes, but sleep doesn't come. Instead, I lie there planning. Because if there's one thing the Army taught me, it's that every mission needs a strategy. And if there's one thing 12 years of marriage taught me, it's that I'm about to become a very different kind of man. The next morning, Lora leaves for work early, claiming she needs to prepare for a deposition. She kisses my forehead before she goes, a gesture that used to make me smile and now makes my skin crawl. I might be late again tonight, she says, adjusting her blazer in the hallway mirror. Sterling wants the whole team to review the Morrison case. The irony isn't lost on me. My last name is Morrison, and apparently I'm about to become a case study in how to destroy a marriage. Take your time, I tell her. I'll probably hit the gym after work anyway. She nods and leaves, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor like a countdown timer. I wait until her car disappears around the corner, then I get to work. First stop, Rick's gym. The Iron Temple sits between a pawn shop and a check-cashing place, which pretty much sums up this neighborhood. It's not fancy, concrete floors, fluorescent lights, equipment that's older than some of the fighters who use it. But it's real, which is more than I can say for most things in my life right now. Rick is behind the counter when I walk in, updating the schedule on a whiteboard covered in illegible handwriting. He's built like a fire hydrant, short, thick, and impossible to move when he doesn't want to be moved. We served together in Afghanistan, back when the world made more sense. You look like hell, he says without looking up. Feel worse. Want to talk about it, or you want to hit something? Both. Rick nods toward the heavy bags in the back corner. Glove up. I'll be there in 5. I wrap my hands carefully, taking my time with each finger, each knuckle. The ritual is soothing, familiar. In the Army, we wrapped our hands before every mission briefing. Old habits. Rick joins me as I start working the bag. Light jabs at first, testing my range, finding my rhythm. The bag sways with each impact, chains creaking overhead. "So," Rick says, leaning against the wall, "your wife's cheating on you." I miss the bag entirely, stumbling forward. How the hell? Instagram story last night showed her at Romano's. You were here until 9:30, then you went home to an empty house. Either she's got a time machine or she's lying about where she was. I reset my stance, throw a harder combination. Sterling Blackstone. Her boss. The rich guy? Silver hair, drives the BMW? That's him. Rick whistles low. Shit, Jake. How long? Don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. I tell him about the motel, the burner phone, the messages. With each detail, Rick's expression gets darker. He's got 2 ex-wives and 3 kids he barely sees, so he understands betrayal better than most. What's your play? He asks. Still figuring that out? Need help? Maybe. Right now, I need information. Rick pushes off the wall, grabs a pair of mitts. Then let's work while you think. Best ideas come when your hands are busy. We spend the next hour drilling combinations. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Each punch carries a little more anger, a little more hurt. By the end, my shirt is soaked with sweat and my knuckles are raw despite the gloves. Feel better? Rick asks. Not even a little bit. Good. Anger's useful if you don't let it make you stupid. I unwrap my hands, flexing my fingers to work out the stiffness. I need to know how deep this goes. How long it's been happening, who else knows about it. You thinking about a private investigator? I am a private investigator, sort of. Rick grins. Right. Sometimes I forget you're not just the security camera guy. Most people do. It's useful. I drive home through downtown, past the glass tower where Lora works. Blackstone and Associates occupies floors 20 through 25 of the Meridian building, all chrome and marble and the kind of understated wealth that screams money. Lora's BMW is in the parking garage, right where it should be. For once, she's telling the truth about being at work. I park across the street and wait. Surveillance is 90% boredom and 10% revelation. Today, I'm hoping for revelation. At 12:15, Lora emerges from the building with Jenna Walsh, her best friend and fellow attorney. They're laughing about something, heads close together like conspirators. They walk 2 blocks to a trendy cafe, the kind of place that charges $15 for a sandwich and calls it artisanal. I follow on foot, staying far enough back to avoid being seen. The cafe has floor-to-ceiling windows, perfect for watching without being noticed. I grab a newspaper from a nearby stand and settle onto a bench across the street. Lora and Jenna sit at a corner table. From their body language, leaning forward, speaking quietly, checking their phones, this isn't just a casual lunch. This is a strategy session. Jenna is animated, gesturing with her hands, occasionally glancing around to make sure no one is listening. Lora looks nervous, fidgeting with her wedding ring. My wedding ring. The one I saved for 3 months to buy, back when I thought our marriage meant something. They're too far away for me to read lips, but I don't need to. I can see the guilt written all over Lora's face, the way she keeps looking down at her hands, the way she nods along with whatever Jenna is telling her. After 40 minutes, they pay their check and head back toward the office. But instead of going inside, they stand on the sidewalk for another 10 minutes, deep in conversation. Finally, Jenna hugs Lora, a long, supportive embrace, and they part ways. I follow Jenna. She doesn't go back to the office. Instead, she walks 3 blocks to the Meridian Hotel, the same chain that owns the Franklin Motel, but about 10 tax brackets higher. She takes the elevator to the 15th floor. I wait in the lobby for 20 minutes, pretending to read emails on my phone. When she comes back down, she's with Sterling Blackstone. They're not touching, not obviously together, but there's an intimacy in the way they move, the way they stand just a little too close. Sterling hands Jenna an envelope. She slips it into her purse without looking at it. They exchange a few words, Then Sterling heads toward the parking garage while Jenna returns to the office. Interesting. Very interesting. I spend the rest of the afternoon at home, going through Lora's things more carefully. Her laptop is password protected, but I know her passwords. She uses variations of our anniversary date for everything, or used to anyway. Her recent browser history is mostly work-related, but there are some interesting entries. Searches for how to hide assets in divorce, adultery laws in our state, and can spouse claim business earnings. My blood runs cold. She's not just cheating on me. She's planning to leave me and take everything she can in the process. I dig deeper. Her email shows several messages to a divorce attorney named Patricia Vance, someone I've never heard of. The messages are brief, just setting up appointments and asking about confidentiality. But one stands out. Patricia, as we discussed, I need to ensure that Jake's business assets are properly evaluated. He's been hiding income through his security consulting work, and I want to make sure I get my fair share. Also, please review the prenup we signed. I think there may be grounds to challenge it based on changed circumstances. Lora. Hiding income? I've been scrupulously honest about every penny I earn. But apparently, in Lora's version of reality, I'm the dishonest one. I print everything. Every email, every browser search, every piece of evidence that shows her true intentions. Then I create copies and store them in 3 different locations. Trust but verify, as they say. Right now, I'm not trusting anyone. My phone rings. Lora. "Hey, honey," she says, her voice artificially bright. "I'm going to be really late tonight. Sterling wants me to help him prepare for the Henderson merger presentation tomorrow." Of course he does. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just seems like Sterling needs a lot of help lately. There's a pause. "Jake, is everything okay? You've been acting strange the last couple of days. Just tired. Work's been busy. Maybe we should plan a weekend getaway soon, just the 2 of us. We haven't had much couple time lately." The audacity is breathtaking. She's planning to divorce me and steal my money, but she wants to plan a romantic weekend. I almost admire the sheer balls it takes. "Sure," I say. "That sounds great. I love you, Jake. I know you do. It's not a lie exactly. She probably does love me in whatever twisted way she's capable of. But she loves Sterling's money more, and she loves the idea of having both even more than that." After we hang up, I sit in my office staring at the monitors. 24 screens showing feeds from around the city, all the places where I've installed security systems. Banks, offices, retail stores, warehouses. A network of eyes that see everything, miss nothing. Time to put that network to work. I make a list of every location near the Franklin Motel, every camera that might have captured Lora's comings and goings. Then I start making calls. Professional courtesy, one security consultant to another. Most of my colleagues are happy to help, especially when I explain that I'm investigating insurance fraud. By evening, I have footage from 6 different locations spanning the last 3 months. Lora's silver Honda appears in the motel parking lot every Tuesday night, like clockwork. Sometimes Sterling's BMW is there too, sometimes it's not. But Lora never misses her weekly appointment. 12 Tuesday nights, 12 betrayals. 12 times she came home and kissed me goodnight with another man's taste still on her lips. I pour myself 3 fingers of bourbon and settle in to watch the show. On screen after screen, I watch my marriage die in high definition. The next morning, I wake up with a plan and a hangover. The bourbon helped me sleep, but it didn't help me forget. Nothing's going to help me forget. Lora is already gone. Early morning emergency at the office. She left a note on the kitchen counter. "Didn't want to wake you. Love you. S." The exclamation point feels like mockery. I shower, dress, and drive to the gym. Rick is there early, as always, working the speed bag with the kind of precision that comes from decades of practice. The rhythmic pounding fills the empty space, echoing off concrete walls. "You look like you made some decisions," he says without stopping. "A few." "Good decisions?" Time will tell. I grab my gear and start stretching. My body feels stiff from yesterday's session, but the pain is welcome. It's honest pain, not like the twisted ache in my chest that comes from loving someone who's destroying you. I need a favor, I tell Rick. Name it. I need you to make some noise about Lora. Nothing too obvious, just let it slip that you've seen her around town with another man. Make sure it gets back to the right people. Rick stops hitting the bag. You want me to start rumors? I want you to tell the truth. You did see her at Romano's when she was supposed to be working late. You did notice she's been acting different. You're just being a concerned friend. He nods slowly. Who am I telling? Start with Mike Peterson. He's married to one of Lora's co-workers. Let him draw his own conclusions. Mike Peterson works construction and drinks at Murphy's Tavern every Friday night with half the blue-collar guys in town. If you want information to spread through the working-class community, Mike's your man. And if you want that information to eventually reach the white-collar crowd, you just have to wait. This town is smaller than people think. What's the endgame here, Jake? I wrap my hands, taking my time with each knuckle. Lora's planning to divorce me and take everything she can. She's been meeting with lawyers, researching how to hide assets, building a case that I'm the bad guy. Shit. Gets better. I think her friend Jenna is involved somehow. I saw her meeting with Sterling yesterday, taking money from him. Rick's face darkens. You think they're all in on it? I think Lora got in over her head with Sterling, and now she's trying to find a way out that doesn't destroy her career or her bank account. Divorcing the blue-collar husband and marrying the rich boss is probably looking pretty attractive right about now. Except Sterling's already married. Details. I start working the heavy bag, focusing on form rather than power. Each punch is deliberate, controlled. I'm not here to vent my anger anymore. I'm here to sharpen it. So what's the plan? Rick asks. First, I make sure everyone knows what kind of person Lora really is. Then I make sure Sterling understands that I'm not some pushover he can just brush aside. Then I take everything they're trying to take from me and burn the rest to the ground. Sounds reasonable. I'm a reasonable guy. Rick grins. No, you're not. But you're a smart guy, and that's more dangerous. After the gym, I drive across town to the industrial district where I keep my office. It's nothing fancy, a converted warehouse space that I share with an accountant and a bail bondsman. But it has everything I need: secure storage, high-speed internet, and neighbors who mind their own business. I spend the morning going through my client files, looking for connections. Over the years, I've installed security systems for dozens of businesses around town: banks, law firms, hotels, restaurants. Each installation comes with access codes, system specifications, and most importantly, relationships with the people who run these places. I find what I'm looking for in the Blackstone and Associates file. 3 years ago, I upgraded their entire security system: cameras, access controls, alarm systems, the works. Sterling personally signed off on the work order and walked me through the building, pointing out sensitive areas that needed extra protection. His office is on the 23rd floor, corner suite with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river. The security system includes motion sensors, but they're disabled during business hours. The cameras in the hallway have blind spots. I remember noting them in my report, recommending additional coverage that Sterling declined for aesthetic reasons. I pull up the system specifications on my laptop. Everything is still current, and I still have administrative access for maintenance purposes. Interesting. My phone buzzes. A text from Lora. Don't wait up tonight. Sterling is taking the team to dinner after the Henderson presentation. Celebration! Another exclamation point. She's really committed to this cheerful wife act. I text back, have fun. You deserve it. That's not a lie either. At 6 p.m., I drive downtown and park across from the Meridian building. Lora's BMW is still in the garage, along with Sterling's BMW and Jenna's red Audi. The Henderson presentation must have gone well. I can see lights on in the Blackstone offices, people moving around behind the glass. At 7:30, they start leaving. First the support staff, then the junior associates, then the partners. Finally, Lora, Sterling, and Jenna emerge together. They're laughing, animated, probably riding high on whatever success they achieved today. They walk to Romano's, the same restaurant where Lora posted her fake working dinner photo. I follow on foot, keeping my distance, just another face in the downtown crowd. Romano's is busy, filled with the after-work crowd of lawyers, bankers, and real estate developers who keep this city's economy running. Lora's table is near the window, perfect for observation. I settle into a coffee shop across the street and watch the show. It's not a team dinner. It's three people having an intimate conversation over expensive wine. Sterling sits at the head of the table like a king holding court. Lora is to his right, leaning in close, laughing at his jokes, touching his arm when she makes a point. Jenna is to his left, more serious, occasionally checking her phone. After an hour, Jenna excuses herself and leaves. Lora and Sterling barely notice. They're too busy staring into each other's eyes like teenagers in love. When Sterling reaches across the table to touch Lora's hand, I have to look away. They leave together at 10 p.m., walking arm in arm toward the hotel district. I don't follow. I don't need to see where this goes. I already know. Instead, I go home and wait. Lora comes through the door at 11:45, humming softly to herself. She's in a good mood, practically glowing. Her hair is slightly messed, her lipstick gone, her blouse wrinkled in a way that tells its own story. "Hey, honey," she says, finding me in the living room. "How was your evening?" "Quiet." "How was dinner?" "Amazing. We landed the Henderson account. Biggest client the firm has ever had. Sterling was so happy, he picked up the tab for everyone." "Everyone?" "The whole team. Must have been 20 people." I nod like I believe her. "That's great, Lora. You've worked really hard for this." She sits down next to me on the couch, curling up against my side like she used to when we were dating. For just a moment, I remember what it felt like to love her without reservation, to believe that we were building something together. "Jake," she says quietly, "I know I've been distracted lately. The work, the pressure. I haven't been the best wife. You've been fine. No, I haven't. But things are going to change now. The Henderson account means a promotion, more money, more stability. We can start thinking about the future again." "What kind of future?" She looks up at me, and for a second, I see something that might be genuine emotion in her eyes. "I don't know. Maybe kids? Maybe that house we always talked about? Maybe just more time together." The cruelty is breathtaking. She's planning to leave me, but she's dangling the dreams we used to share like bait. Maybe she's trying to assuage her own guilt, or maybe she's just keeping me pacified until her divorce lawyer is ready to strike. "That sounds nice," I tell her. She kisses me then, soft and sweet, tasting like wine and lies. When she pulls away, she's smiling. "I love you, Jake Morrison." "I love you too, Lora Morrison." For now. She goes upstairs to shower, and I sit alone in the dark, planning her destruction. Because if there's one thing I've learned in 12 years of marriage, it's that love and hate are separated by the thinnest of lines, and Lora just helped me cross it. 3 days later, the rumors start spreading exactly as planned. Mike Peterson mentions to his wife Carol that he heard Lora Morrison was seen around town with some rich guy from her law firm. Carol mentions it to her sister Linda, who works as a paralegal at a competing firm. Linda mentions it to her boss, who mentions it to his wife at their weekly bridge game. By Friday, half the legal community knows that Lora Morrison might be having an affair with Sterling Blackstone Jr. I know this because Jenna calls Lora in a panic at 8 a.m., and Lora puts her on speaker while she's getting dressed for work. "People are talking," Jenna says, her voice tight with anxiety. "Patricia Vance called me this morning asking if there was anything I needed to tell her about your marriage before she files the papers." Lora freezes, one shoe halfway on. "What papers?" "The divorce papers, Lora. The ones you asked her to prepare? She's concerned that if there are rumors about an affair, it might complicate the proceedings. I'm in the bathroom, supposedly brushing my teeth, but I can hear every word. Lora doesn't know that I know about Patricia Vance, doesn't know that I've been reading her emails for days. I haven't decided anything yet, Lora says carefully, glancing toward the bathroom door. We talked about options, that's all. Well, decide fast, because if this gets out, Sterling's wife is going to hear about it, and if she hears about it, we're all trapped. Interesting. So Jenna is more than just an innocent bystander. I'll handle it, Lora says. Just give me some time to think. Time is what we don't have. The Henderson account is official now, which means Sterling's promotion is official too. If this blows up, it takes all of us down. After Jenna hangs up, Lora sits on the bed for a long moment, staring at her phone. When I come out of the bathroom, she looks up with a forced smile. Everything okay? I ask. Just work stuff. You know how it is. I do. She kisses me goodbye and leaves for the office. I wait 10 minutes, then I make my move. The Blackstone and Associates building is busy at 9 a.m., full of lawyers and clients and support staff rushing to start their day. I walk through the lobby like I belong there, carrying a toolbox and wearing a shirt with my company logo. Security guards see what they expect to see, a maintenance worker with legitimate business. The elevator takes me to the 23rd floor. Sterling's office is at the end of the hall, behind a door marked Sterling Blackstone Jr., Senior Partner. His secretary isn't at her desk, probably getting coffee or making copies. I knock on Sterling's door. Mr. Blackstone, building maintenance. We need to check your smoke detectors. Come in, he calls. Sterling is behind his desk, reviewing documents, looking every inch the successful attorney in his $1,000 suit and gold watch. He barely glances up when I enter. This won't take long, I tell him, opening my toolbox. Just need to test the system. Fine, whatever. I climb onto a chair and pretend to examine the smoke detector near his desk. While I work, I study him. He's handsome in that silver fox way that women seem to love. Distinguished, confident, probably used to getting whatever he wants, including other men's wives. You know, I say conversationally, I think we've met before. He looks up. I don't think so. Jake Morrison, I installed your security system a few years back. Now I have his attention. He sets down his papers and really looks at me for the first time. Morrison, he says slowly. That name sounds familiar. It should. My wife works here, Lora Morrison. The color drains from his face. For just a moment, the confident mask slips, and I see the fear underneath. He recovers quickly, but not quickly enough. Lora's your wife, he says, trying to sound casual. She's a wonderful attorney, very talented. She is that, very talented at lots of things. I climb down from the chair and pack up my tools, taking my time. Sterling watches me like a mouse watching a cat, trying to figure out how much danger he's in. You know, I continue, Lora's been working late a lot recently, really dedicated to the job. I admire that in a person, dedication. She's very committed to her work. Oh, I know exactly how committed she is. I've seen the evidence. Sterling's hands are shaking now, just slightly. He's trying to maintain his composure, but sweat is beading on his forehead despite the air conditioning. I'm not sure what you're implying, Mr. Morrison. I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. Every Tuesday night for 3 months, my wife has been at the Franklin Motel, room 237 to be specific. And funny thing about that room, it has a perfect view of the parking lot, perfect for security cameras. He goes completely white. I think there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding. I've got footage of your BMW in that parking lot. I've got footage of you and Lora going into that room together. I've got copies of the text messages from her burner phone. I've got everything, Sterling. I lean forward, placing my hands on his desk, getting close enough that he can smell the coffee on my breath. Here's what's going to happen, I say quietly. You're going to end this thing with my wife, today. You're going to tell her it was a mistake, that you're recommitting to your marriage, whatever bullshit story you want to use. But it ends now. You can't. I can do whatever I want. You see, I know things about you beyond just the affair. I know about the Henderson account and how you landed it. I know about the kickbacks from the construction contracts. I know about the money you've been skimming from client escrow accounts. This is a bluff, but it's an educated bluff. In my experience, men like Sterling always have dirty secrets beyond the obvious ones. His reaction tells me I'm right. He slumps back in his chair like I've punched him in the gut. How do you? I install security systems, remember? I see everything that happens in this building. Every late-night meeting, every document that gets shredded, every envelope full of cash that changes hands. You'd be amazed what people do when they think no one's watching. Another bluff, but Sterling doesn't know that. He's sweating freely now, his expensive suit wilting under the pressure. What do you want? He asks. I want you to disappear from my wife's life. I want you to transfer her to a different department, different cases, different everything. I want you to forget she exists. And if I don't? I smile, and it's not a nice smile. Then I send everything I have to your wife, the State Bar Association, the district attorney, and the local newspaper, all at the same time. How do you think that plays out for you? He stares at me for a long moment, trying to find some angle, some way out of the trap I've built around him. There isn't one. Fine, he says finally. It's over. Glad we understand each other. I pick up my toolbox and head for the door. Then I stop and turn back. Oh, and Sterling? If you think about warning Lora or trying to spin this some other way, remember that I'm the guy who watches everything. I'll know. I leave him sitting there, broken and defeated, staring at the ruins of his carefully constructed life. Phase 1 complete. By lunchtime, Lora is calling me in tears. Jake, something terrible has happened. She sobs into the phone. Sterling, he said we can't see each other anymore. He said it was a mistake, that he loves his wife, that we have to pretend it never happened. I'm sorry, honey, I say, injecting just the right amount of concern into my voice. That must be really hard. I thought he loved me. I thought we were going to be together. Maybe it's for the best. I mean, he is your boss, and he is married. You don't understand, she snaps. This isn't just about... It's complicated. I'm sure it is. She's quiet for a moment, probably realizing how much she's revealed. When she speaks again, her voice is more controlled. I'm going to take a personal day. I need to think about some things. Take all the time you need. After she hangs up, I sit back in my chair and smile. Lora's world is starting to crumble, and she doesn't even know I'm the one holding the sledgehammer. But I'm not done yet. Not even close. That evening, I drive to Jenna Walsh's apartment complex. She lives in one of those trendy downtown lofts that cost more than most people make in a year. The kind of place that screams successful young professional to anyone who cares about that sort of thing. I wait in the parking garage until she comes home from work. She looks stressed, distracted, probably dealing with the fallout from Sterling's sudden change of heart. Jenna, I call out as she walks toward the elevator. She turns, surprised to see me. Jake? What are you doing here? We need to talk. About what? About the envelope Sterling gave you at the Meridian Hotel, about the money you've been taking to help facilitate my wife's affair, about the divorce papers you've been helping her prepare. Her face goes through the same color changes as Sterling's did this morning. White to red to white again. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. You're the middleman, aren't you? Sterling can't be seen talking to Lora too much at the office, so he uses you to pass messages, arrange meetings, coordinate their little love affair, and he pays you well for the service. She looks around the parking garage, probably hoping someone will interrupt this conversation. No such luck. "You're crazy," she says, but her voice lacks conviction. "Am I? Then you won't mind if I share my suspicions with the State Bar Association. I'm sure they'd love to investigate whether you've been taking money to help facilitate an affair between a senior partner and a junior associate. That's got to be some kind of ethics violation." Jenna's shoulders slump. The fight goes out of her all at once. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this," she says quietly. "How was it supposed to happen?" Lora was miserable. She felt trapped, like she'd married too young and missed out on the life she really wanted. Sterling offered her a way out. "And you helped?" "I introduced them at the Christmas party. I suggested they work together on cases. I facilitated things. For money." She nods. "Sterling said it was a consulting fee, payment for helping him identify and recruit top talent." "Bullshit. I knew it was bullshit when he said it. But the money was good, and Lora seemed happy, and I thought it would work out somehow." I step closer. Jenna is tall, but I'm taller, and right now I'm using every inch of that advantage. "Here's what's going to happen," I tell her. "You're going to call Lora and tell her that you can't be involved in this anymore. You're going to tell her that the rumors are spreading and it's too dangerous for your career. You're going to recommend that she work things out with her husband, Jake, and then you're going to find a new job. Somewhere far away from Blackstone and Associates and far away from my wife. You can't make me. I can ruin you. One phone call to the right people and your legal career is over. You'll be lucky to get a job as a paralegal in some strip mall law office." She stares at me for a long moment, tears forming in her eyes. Finally, she nods. "Okay," she whispers. "Okay. Good choice." I leave her standing there in the parking garage, another piece of Lora's support system crumbling away. When I get home, Lora is waiting for me. She's been crying, her eyes are red and puffy, her makeup smeared. She looks small and vulnerable, sitting on our couch in an old sweater and jeans. "We need to talk," she says. "About what?" "About us, about our marriage, about everything." I sit down across from her, maintaining some distance. "I'm listening." "I've made some mistakes, Jake. Big mistakes. I've been selfish and stupid and I've hurt you. This is interesting. I expected anger, defiance, maybe even accusations. I didn't expect a confession." "What kind of mistakes?" She takes a shaky breath. "I've been having an affair." The words hang in the air between us like a loaded gun. She's watching my face, waiting for my reaction. I give her what she expects: shock, hurt, confusion. "An affair?" I say, letting my voice crack just a little. "With who?" "Sterling, my boss. It's been going on for a few months." "Jesus, Lora, why?" "I don't know. I felt trapped, I guess. Like I'd missed out on something. Like I'd settled for a life that was safe instead of a life that was exciting." She's crying again, but these tears feel different, more genuine. Maybe the weight of her deception is finally getting to her. "Do you love him?" I ask. "I thought I did. But today, he ended it. Said it was a mistake, that he couldn't leave his wife, that we had to pretend it never happened. I'm sorry." She looks up at me, surprised. "You're sorry?" "You're in pain. I don't like seeing you in pain, even if you caused it yourself." This breaks her. She collapses into sobs, years of guilt and fear and confusion pouring out all at once. Despite everything she's done to me, despite all the lies and betrayal, part of me still wants to comfort her. That's the cruelest part of love. It doesn't die just because it should. "I want to try again," she says through the tears. "I want to fix this. I want to be the wife you deserve. Lora, I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I know I've destroyed your trust, but I love you, Jake. I've always loved you. I got lost for a while. She moves to the couch beside me, reaching for my hands. Her touch is warm, familiar, heartbreaking. Can we try? She asks. Can we go to counseling, work on our marriage, start over? I look into her eyes, these eyes I've loved for 12 years, and I almost say yes. Almost. But then I remember the divorce lawyer. I remember the plans to take my money, to paint me as the villain in her story. I remember that this confession only came after her affair ended, after her backup plan fell apart. I need time to think, I tell her. She nods, wiping her eyes. I understand. Take all the time you need. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust back. Okay. That night, we sleep in the same bed for the first time in weeks. Lora curls up against me like she used to, and for a few hours, I let myself pretend that things could go back to the way they were. But they can't. Too much has been broken. Too many lines have been crossed. Lora made her choice when she decided to betray me. Now I'm making mine. The next morning, while Lora is at work, I call Patricia Vance. Ms. Vance, this is Jake Morrison. I believe my wife has been consulting with you about a divorce. There's a pause. Mr. Morrison, I can't discuss. I'm not asking you to violate attorney-client privilege. I'm asking you to represent me instead. Another pause. I'm afraid that would be a conflict of interest. Not if Lora fires you first, which she's about to do because she's decided to try to save our marriage. I see. I'll pay double whatever she was paying you. And I'll provide evidence that will make your job very easy. What kind of evidence? The kind that proves adultery, financial planning to hide assets, and conspiracy to defraud a spouse in divorce proceedings. Patricia Vance is quiet for a long moment. When she speaks again, her voice is different, sharper, more interested. Perhaps we should meet. I'll be there in an hour. I hang up and smile. Lora wanted to play games with lawyers and divorce papers. Fine. But she forgot one important thing. I'm better at games than she is, and I always finish what I start.